What's up, everybody, and welcome in to the College Basketball Countdown. I'm your host, Jeff Nadeau, and we are live on Pub Sports Radio, another Saturday banger of a day full of college basketball as we round out the month of February and head into the greatest month of the season, March. Lot to get into, lot to talk about today. Over the next hour or so, we will break down some games here on the Saturday card. We'll delve into some questions. We'll delve into all that and more here today. I hope you're all having a great day here today. Let's get into it. What up, everybody? How we doing? Shout out to everybody out there in the chat. Shout out to everybody that may tune in and are watching. If you are asking about a game, do me one favor. Just feel free to include the line with the game. And if you can, the opponent as well. It would go a long way for me. There's so many games today, and I don't always have the matchup. Most of the matchups I have, but I don't always have the matchups here today. So do that for me. Last night, didn't see much of anything. I mean, it was kind of a low-end night. There wasn't really much out there as far as big games to talk about. I guess you could talk a little bit about Akron, Kent State, and that's always a rivalry, but Akron was able to get the job done there and cover the number. What's up with Green Bay? This team's fallen by the wayside. They were rolling. They have lost the last two games, both at home against subpar opponents. They were absolutely blitzed last night by Fort Wayne, who shot a very high percentage. I don't know what happened to this team. Then again, though, from what I did see, I think Noah Reynolds didn't play. Again, one of those good old, lower-end college basketball injury things where you don't know that the best player is not playing. And, look, I don't know if it would even matter. I mean, they lost by 26. So, again, just a rough performance the last couple of nights for that team. They're one of the best teams against the spread in the country, and they have lost outright the last two games. So, something to keep an eye on. But let's focus on today. It's a big day in college basketball. Saturday is always huge. So what I will do as normal is I'll go through 5 games that I thought were interesting or I had my eye on, and then we'll take a look at some of the games maybe you folks want to talk about. Zane Cole gifted a membership. Well, thank you, Zane Cole. I wonder who got it. Shout out to the guy that got the membership. Brian Watson, what's up? Nunya, what's up? Justin, what's up? NJ Stryker, Ced Porter, Big T, Michael Johnson, Joey Harb, Canes, Brad, Martin, Charlie, Raymond, Frank Rosario, King Oo, what's up? Shout out to all of you. I will get to Kentucky at some point. We'll talk about that. And we will get to your questions here in just a little bit. But let's first delve into the 5-pack of games as we normally do. I want to go back to last week because we don't always, in fact, we generally do. We always kind of talk about what we did the week before. Last week, TCU, Kansas State, Kansas State, they lost. Texas, Houston, I believe Texas covered, didn't they? They were getting a bunch of points. Again, these weeks meld together half the time. No, Texas got crushed. Arkansas, Mississippi State, that was a winner. Moorhead, that was a loser. And Weber, Eastern Washington, that went over. So I think it was a slight losing day. But all in all, generally, over the last 3 weeks or so, we've done pretty well on this show. So let's see if we can't do okay today. Let's get into it here. We'll start off with Houston and Baylor, straight out of the top. Big game here in the Big 12. Now, obviously, we look at this one and you think, all right, it's that spot for Houston, right? Public thinks they're going to roll here probably, but they are on the road. Listen, look. People are always going to say, well, Houston's not as good on the road. Okay, but not many teams are good away from home. That's just the truth. Like, most teams are just better when they're at home. But the truth is this the Baylor team that played Houston a couple of years ago in the Final Four? No, it isn't. This is a Baylor team that is still a disaster on defense. They don't have a rim runner that can really run to the basket and kind of destroy Houston like some teams can, like a Hunter Dickinson can. They just don't have that sort of player. I look at Houston and I just feel like whenever I can get them in this sort of price range, I'm going to be interested. Look, the truth is Houston is the best defense in America, and it's really not close. I've also talked, Baylor has gotten, they've been much better recently and of late offensively, but they have struggled at times in conference to put together consistent offense, and it's always going to be difficult in this sort of game. I think this class, as far as disparity, is huge. I think Houston's significantly better than Baylor. And in this kind of spot where essentially we really just need them to win by a bucket or more, I'm in. Again, this is not the same elite defense that we've seen from Baylor in the past. They play this no middle defense where, they kind of just will let you operate on the perimeter. They don't give you much in the around the foul line and near the hoop. I just feel like for me, if I'm going to get something under 3 here with Houston, I'm going to buy in. For anyone that said Houston has struggled on the road, look, I'll give you it. They have had games where, look, they went and struggled at Iowa State. Look, that's a really good Iowa State team. But then again, they beat them in the return matchup the other night. I know they went to Kansas and lost, but this is a major difference here. Kansas is got an elite big, a guy that can move around and run at the rim. Houston doesn't have that. Throw in the fact that, this isn't a very good Baylor rebounding group. And when you play Houston, if you cannot rebound at a high level, you may have major issues. This is not a good defensive rebounding team for Baylor. So there are certain things here. Missi is not a rim runner. He is not quality. Look, he can dunk, but he is not quality around the rim like Hunter Dickinson. That's crazy. Good player, but definitely a high riser, that sort of player. He's not a guy that, I'm particularly, feeling like it. Look, he's a good player, but is he Hunter Dickinson? No, he's not. He doesn't shoot the ball at a high level. Dickinson can go out and pop and shoot the 3 ball. He can do all sorts of different things. So Yves Missi does not do that. He doesn't shoot threes. He doesn't have, to me, the quality that you need around the rim, at least to at the level of Hunter Dickinson. So I'm going to lay the number here. I think Houston is way better than Baylor. And, I feel like for me, this is another good spot to back them. I just don't think that this is, A, the elite Baylor team we've seen over the years, and B, defensively, I think they're a disaster. But it seems like most of the chat wants Baylor. And listen, I get it. I mean, people, oh, my God, they're a home dog. Fair enough. So yeah, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna disagree with these chat folks. Remember too, big game for LJ Cryer. Remember, he was at Baylor for a bunch of years. So that's kind of an interesting kind of caveat to the game here. Baylor's a public dog, right? And we know what happened to public dogs. They generally die. I think people still aren't sold on Houston, and that's cool. I think they're way better offensively this year than I think we remember. Maybe it doesn't necessarily show that, but they don't necessarily need to be because they're an elite defense. So we'll see. I mean, the rubber's going to meet the road, and one of us is going to be right. Is it going to be me or is it going to be the chat? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Texas A&M and Tennessee. The first time these two teams played, I took the underdog. And it was a way different game because it was in A&M. If we remember, A&M won the game. This is where doing this show is difficult, and doing shows like this is difficult because I can't get the opening number. This number opened 12.5. It's not 10.5. Listen, I think anything above 10, I'm still interested in. I just would hate to have this game fall 11 or 12 and I lose because I couldn't get that number. I still think it's okay. Here's why I like A&M. A&M is a weird team, right? I mean, there are games where they look great, where you feel like, all right, they can do some damage in the Big 12 or the SEC tournament or something like that, where like they'll hang with Houston and they'll beat Tennessee at home, they'll beat Kentucky at home, but then like the other night they're at home and they lose to Arkansas of all teams. They've lost 3 straight games. Arkansas kind of beat them up. This team has not looked like the same team defensively. Yet Tennessee comes in They got this game at home. This is kind of one of those spots where Tennessee's just going to roll because it's a revenge game. But I'm going to believe that A&M's principles and how they play will keep this game close. I'm going to back a desperate team here in A&M. You look at Tennessee, when they've struggled this season in this conference, it's been against A&M, South Carolina, Mississippi State. What's the theme of all those teams? Good defensively, and they slow the game down to a screeching halt. They will not run with you. They're not going to play into your hands. And when we look at when A&M loses the pace battle, obviously like against Alabama, who are supremely fast, faster than anyone, they got blitzed. If they don't win the transition game here, they're going to get crushed. That's just how it goes. But we've seen over the course of this season, A&M against these types of teams have been able to slow them down. They did it against Florida. They did it against LSU. They did it to Tennessee. And this Tennessee team, look, they've bounced back in a big way since the A&M game, but they played Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and Missouri. Nothing to write home there. 3 of the worst teams in this conference. Now you come home, A&M still is Wade Taylor. They're still the best offensive rebounding team in the country. That's why I'm willing to go back to A&M, because they have certain things that I really like. Plus, they're really well coached. I think they're a team that will look really good in a few and then look bad. But in this kind of game, I think this is worth taking. And look at this number. Again, 12.5 down to 10.5. I'm going to be disgusted if this falls 11 or 12. But I'm in. Give me A&M back against the wall, slow this game down to a screeching halt, and go from there. Someone's asking, is Radford playing? As far as I know, I mean, he had played 35 minutes in the last game. I don't foresee any reason why he wouldn't be playing. So yeah, I'm gonna back A&M here. Someone says I can't back A&M. Well, listen, I mean, in this spot, though, they're pretty good against these types of teams where if they can take you out of the tempo. Look, remember, they also took Auburn out of their tempo. They were one of the only teams to keep it close against Auburn this year. So I'm going to trust that. And look, I like their players, too. I like Wade Taylor a lot. Radford I like a lot. Tennessee, not a great defensive rebounding team either. If you can't rebound the ball against A&M, you could really struggle. They're really good on the offensive glass. And I remember that game, the first time they played with Arkansas. Arkansas kind of owned them this year. I mean, I think they beat them twice. It was just a good matchup for Musselman and the boys. But they got back into the game, A&M, strictly in the first game through rebounding the basketball offensively. They are elite. They're all hawking basketball, grabbing the basketball, just very good. So I'm going to grab A&M here. I'm going to trust that they handle this spot. Take it easy, Sanderson. Have a good day, man. All right. By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Remember, please let me know the line in the game that you're looking at. Appreciate it. All right, next one. Another Big 12 game. West Virginia, Iowa State. I'm going to lay it here. I know it's a lot of points to lay in conference, but I just don't see it here. I don't see how West Virginia competes in this game. You know, anytime West Virginia plays or any team plays Iowa State, I always look at how that team fared against Houston, because Houston play a very similar defensive way to Iowa State. West Virginia got absolutely crushed in Houston, 89-55. I mean, it wasn't even close. And we've talked week after week on this show about what Houston and what Iowa State are going to do. Immediately when you cross the half-court line, they're going to blitz you with 2 defenders, really get you out of your game. West Virginia has been a turnover machine this year, a machine. They can't hold on to the ball. Throw in the fact this is a disaster of a group defensively. I don't know where to look if you're Josh Eilert. This team is a layup line defensively. And when I say they're the layup line defensively, it means they don't offer much resistance on the defensive end. And you look at the last couple of games. outside of their win against Central Florida, they gave up 94, 81, 94, and 86 to some of the better offensive teams in this conference. I know people always want to kind of sell to you that Iowa State can't score, blah, 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 blah. They're eighth in this conference offensively. They're not that lost. And look, this isn't a real bad defense here. To me, this screamed 85, 62, something like that. I think Iowa State puts up a crooked number here. West Virginia is bad. I know a lot of the time in conference, people just kind of jump over these games. They don't want to lay numbers. But I think sometimes these are some of the best spots you can find because you identify teams that obviously have a reason to win, need to continue to lay the law down. And look, if you're an Iowa State, you're a team like this, the goal is to win by as much as you can in these kinds of games, right? It looks good on paper. It looks good when you blow out a team 81-60. That looks good. And beating West Virginia by margin is something you need to do. I had this game at 20-plus point win by Iowa State. I think they take care of business. I don't know how West Virginia scores. I guess their only hope would be that they get hot from three. There have been times this year where they have been able to be okay from three, but I mean, they regularly get blown out in this conference. And I look at the common matchup against Houston. They got blitzed, West Virginia. I think it's a similar game here. Ames a tough spot. Erwin Simmons, thank you for watching, my man. Thank you for watching. Guys, again, if you asked about a game, I'll get to it. Please don't ask about it 5 times. I'll get to it. Also, Raymond Reichert, Seton Hall doesn't play Baylor. I don't know. What are you talking about? Please, guys, if you're going to put a game out there, please make sure the game is correct. Butler, you mean Butler. He's Seton Hall, Baylor. They don't even play. Coin says I lean Iowa State under 143.5. I get you. I feel like if you lean under, though, why not just lay it? Because you figure Iowa State's going to, they're going to win by margin if the game stays under, right? My concern is Iowa State scores too many points here. Like they score 85, right? And this is like 85-65. That's your concern here. But I get you. I get your thought. But your thought is, and it's more or less hanged on defense, where you think Iowa State's going to hold West Virginia to a low-scoring game because they're a great defense. Why not just lay it, right? Because we know Iowa State's going to score. That's my concern here. Iowa State scores too many points. But I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. If I had to lean, I'd lean under. Or maybe a West Virginia team total under. Under would be hard for me to get to here, but I get your reasoning. Because I could see Iowa State still covering. I could see them winning 71-50 here, Nunya says, I can't bet on this trash. Can't bet on this trash. Big 12 game? It's trash? So many better spots. Fair enough. I mean, I don't know. I'll bet on a cockroach race if there's an angle. Not even a game. I don't know. Justify your argument. What do you mean it's not even? It looks like a game to me. It looks like two teams that are playing on a basketball court. It sounds like a game, but all right. BYU, Kansas State, another Big 12 game. Couple of Big 12 games here. I'm going to do it. I'm doing it one more time. I have to. I have to do it one more time. I'm going to back Kansas State. I'm going to back Kansas State. What does this even mean? Nunya, you're just throwing out conjecture here. What are you even talking about? Vegas got their grubby mitts here on a. I'm not understanding this, Nunya. Explain yourself. So Iowa State. So you're thinking West Virginia is the play? Is that what you're saying? I don't. We cash elsewhere. What does it matter where we are as long as these are my games. These are games I think are good. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to K-State, BYU. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to. I've got to back them again. I've got to agree, Justin. I've got to. I just can't not bet this. And I look at this one big thing. BYU don't turn you over. 9-0 K-State makes these stupid, unforced turnovers. But again, if you can get past that and look, again, BYU doesn't turn you over. I think they're not a terrible team. They're good on defense. K-State is a great defense. One of the top defenses in this conference. The only two that are better are Iowa State and Houston, who are elite defensive teams. This is a BYU team as well that has struggled a lot on the highway. Their only wins in conference away from home this year have been at West Virginia and UCF, two of the weaker teams in this conference. Going to Manhattan is very difficult. This continues to be a very desperate Kansas State team. And if K-State can just stop hurting themselves, they can hang in games. I think there's a lot of ability here with this team. And listen, remember, this is also not a great defensive team for BYU either. I think it's a big spot for K-State. I'm going to trust them one more time here. Give me the home team. Throw in the fact that BYU is not good on the road, and they're not going to turn you over. Here's the issue with Kansas State. You can't really escape it with this turnover stuff. I mean, you just can't. I mean, they're 334th in the country out of 362 teams in non-steal turnover percentage. What does that mean exactly? A non-steal turnover would be an unforced turnover by you. You step on the end line, you travel, you throw the ball into the sixth row on trying to find your guy on the corner. That's an unforced turnover. So they're beating themselves as well. You know, they're aggravating, very aggravating. Now, I look back to last week. There are two teams in the country that I can never get right. IPFW and TCU. Like, I'm not kidding, guys. If a TCU player came to me right now and said, Jeff, you need to bet right now that the sky is blue, I would bet it, and immediately the sky would turn black or like yellow or red or something. It's crazy. I have bet against TCU a few times. Screw me every time. I bet on screw me every time. You look at last week, Jameer Nelson, okay, the guy who shoots 27% from three. I mean, K-State streams all over him. Bang, hits a three at the buzzer. I mean, what are we even doing here? If I needed him to make that, he wouldn't have even hit the rim. So again, I'm willing to give K-State another shot. I had them correct when they played Kansas. It's not all been bad. Come on, K-State. Come on, Tyler Perry. Come on, Cam Carter. Come on, Arthur Kaluma. K-State +1 at home. We're giving them one more shot. Still no response from Nunya. Still no response. Can we let the man cap? Exactly. Nunya thinks that I'm here to give picks to the. It's like, no, these are just my games. We'll get to your game. What's your game, Nunya? I'd love to hear it. Nunya will be talking about Alabama A&M against Grambling or something. And it's like, well, what? What does it even mean? Vegas has their polls in this one. I don't know what that even means. Nunya says, Craig Wood, you are not a member. Yeah, why aren't you a member, Craig Wood? Become a member. If you would like to become a member, feel free to hit the join button if you're watching on a computer. We would love to have you here at Pub Sports Radio. By the way, coming up, programming note, coming up, middle of March, first week of March Madness. Pubapalooza is coming back to San Antonio. If you're a fan of Pub Sports Radio, you want to come down, you want to come to one of the biggest sports betting communities in the country, you got to get in touch with the boys at Pub Sports Radio. Make sure we see you there. From what I've heard, there were all sorts of people there last year and the year before. I'm sure it'll be another great time this year. I will be there as well. A lot of other people will be there. I know Razor Sharp Picks is going to be there. I think Ski Profit's going to be there. Jimmy the Bag will be there. I don't know if Ian Cameron, my old friend Ian Cameron, I don't know if he'll be there, but there will be all sorts of other people there. Justin McElvey will be there. Shout out to him. Shout out to everybody. If you are going to be at Pubapalooza, do me a favor. Put a 1 in the chat. A 1 in the chat. I want to see. Put a 1 in the chat. Gabe Tadino, what's up? If you're going to be in Publipalooza, put a 1 in the chat, please. Is there anybody? I'm sure there are many. All right. Let me get to my final game, and then we'll open it up to your questions. Gonzaga and Santa Clara. Gonzaga and Santa Clara. This is another big one in the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga have been absolutely rolling. However, we need to take all that with a grain of salt. The only quality win, if we're being honest, was a game at Kentucky. Okay. And that was a game they won. We've got to give them credit. I love Gonzaga. I just think this is a tough spot for them. Santa Clara has been a great underdog all season. They've been terrific. They beat Gonzaga the first time around. I believe Santa Clara has the ability to hang in this game. I think there's too many points. It's hard to bet into Gonzaga because they're so good on offense and they're absolutely rolling right now. But this is one of the better defenses in this conference, Santa Clara. They really take the air out of the ball. They're going to make you walk the ball up the court, and they defend their asses off, particularly on the perimeter. They're an elite offensive rebounding team under Herb Sendek. This, to me, is too many points. It's pretty simple. Again, Santa Clara, one of the best underdog teams in America. I believe they've covered 8 of 11 as a dog this season. You're giving me 14.5 points, I'll gladly back Santa Clara. I am a little worried. Gonzaga is really good, and they've been rolling offensively, but a lot of it has come against very, very poor competition. Does a change of venue warrant a nearly 14-point swing in the number? And remember, what do we know about Gonzaga? They don't have much of a bench. If you can get someone in foul trouble, it changes the complete complexion of this game. First time around, Anton Watson, 32 points. Graham Ike was in foul trouble. They were 2 for 20 from 3. That's not probably going to happen again, but this is a well-oiled roster for Santa Clara. Well-coached, good team. We've got a couple of really good players on this team. Adama Ball's terrific. And I'll give Santa Clara a lot of credit. With about 10 minutes to go, Gonzaga was figuring it out. They were up 5. They were maybe looking to make a run and go up and win by double digits. Santa Clara held tough, man. Tough, blue-collar team. I like Santa Clara here. I think they hang around and cover the number. Nunya says, my point is my plays are on no-name teams. That's just me. I don't bet primetime shit. Well, listen, man. I mean, I'm not going to say what you do it's your business, what you do. I just think you're kind of being obtuse in a way. Like, to just say I'm never going to bet something because it's a primetime game. I don't know. I never understood that personally. Like, why not just bet whatever? Like, why does it matter? I think the greatest edge in college basketball is a home team during the week that's not as good as the road team coming in, and the road team, let's say, is ranked, and they're like a 1-point dog at a non-ranked team. That's a great bet, dude. I don't know why you haven't involved yourself with that, but again, it's up to you. All right, the time has come. Feel free to drop the games you want me to talk about. I want to go over some of your questions. We kind of open it up to the masses here on this show, and we will continue to do that. Teron Long says, do you have any thoughts on Pitt laying 3 against Virginia Tech? Do I have any thoughts? Yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty good spot. I mean, Pitt's been good at home. Obviously, we got to kind of figure out what they were up to. They just got wiped off the face of the planet at Wake. This is a much different game, though. Virginia Tech's coming off the massive win they had against their rival on Monday against Virginia. This should be a good bounce back spot for Pittsburgh. I'm not looking to lay a crazy number here, but this is a good Virginia offense. I think that's one thing we have to keep in mind. Virginia Tech, I'm sorry. They have been one of the better offenses in this conference. This is a conference I'm just not a big fan of. I kind of leaned over, though. Both offenses, I think, should be able to do what they do here. Didn't have much thought on laying. I don't really want to lay a number here. I'd more or less just take it over. Do I have any thoughts on Seton Hall Butler? Yeah, I like Seton Hall. I I don't think we're giving Seton Hall enough credit. I don't know to be fair, I don't know what would be sketchy about laying 4 or 5 here. I mean, Butler is not good. They've struggled defensively. Seton Hall went in and beat them by 6 the first time around in Hinkle. Now they're a home favorite, and they've been good. I think we look at the times when Seton Hall haven't played well. I mean, we have to look further into that. I mean, they didn't have Kadari Richmond in most of those games. And their struggles have come away from home at times. But remember, I mean, they probably should have beat Creighton. Didn't have him in that game. You didn't have him in the game against Providence, and didn't have him in the game against Marquette. He comes back and they right the ship. This is an elite defensive team. I don't have much issue laying the number here. I'll be honest, I played it at a much better number, but five was kind of my last, kind of frontier as far as playing this, but I don't have much issue laying it. What do I think about UMass and St. Bonaventure? Two teams I'm not really running to the window to bet on. UMass obviously has been much better at home. This is a great offense under Frank Martin, one of the better offenses in this conference, but it's really all about one way to score for UMass, and that's downhill in transition, getting to the line. That's how they score. They don't shoot threes. In fact, this is a disaster team from three. If I'm Mark Schmidt, now here's the issue with him. That Bonaventure team is not good on the road, and they're not a strong three-point defense. I kind of want to zone UMass if I can. We'll see if he's willing to do that. This game could really get sloggy, but I didn't have much. Two kind of middling teams. Any thoughts on South Carolina against Ole Miss? I don't know. Lean under. I lean under anytime South Carolina plays. They play one of the slowest tempos in America. Chris Beard and Ole Miss aren't actually absolutely running up and down like a frantic up and down team. So I feel like this game kind of slogs right around between 65 to 70. I don't have the number in front of me. Again, you'd have to include that total-wise. Don't have much here on this one. Again, I want to back South Carolina against teams that want to play fast because I think they could be a real kind of problem for those teams because they're going to slow you down. This is kind of a game where it's just going to come down to who can make more shots in the half court. Georgia against Auburn. Yeah, we've seen Georgia hang around a lot this year in games. This is a tough team, regardless of how well they're playing. I mean, every game they play is decided generally within single digits. But Auburn is coming off of another loss. They've lost 2 of the last 3. They haven't looked like the same team. Something tells me coming home today, though, or sorry, this is a road game. I thought this was a home game. Scratch what I just said. I lean over. I think regardless of where the game is, I think Auburn will be much better offensively in this game. They've kind of had to figure it out against, slow teams or just teams that, look, they didn't shoot the ball well against Kentucky. Let's just be honest. And that's one of the things that have aided Kentucky recently in this defensive resurgence. It's not a defensive resurgence. LSU and Auburn have shot 9 for 44 from 3. That's why they've been so good defensively. I don't know if they're that good. They're just not. They're still a team that you can run against Kentucky. I think Auburn gets back into the swing of things today, and I think they kind of get back to the team we remember them being offensively. Georgia can score, and that's one thing we got to give them credit for. They play pretty fast. They're pretty efficient. We've got a bunch of good guards here. Leaned over. What else do we have here? Do I see a letdown for Villanova? Yeah, I wouldn't classify any game for them as a letdown. I don't know if they're good enough to have a letdown. I don't know if I see your thought here on a letdown. This Connecticut team, the first time around, this game is close. Villanova did a nice job, and that's one thing about Villanova that we always have to remember. They are a very slow team as well. They are going to take you out of transition. Good defensive team under Kyle Neptune. That said, though, UConn's coming off a loss to Creighton. I just don't know that I see them coming back home and struggling here. You would think this is a bounce back for UConn. I don't think Nova, though, to answer your question, no, this isn't. Villanova's not in the predicament of being in a letdown situation. Look, let's say if UConn went and beat Creighton and they come home, this could be a letdown game maybe for UConn, but this is never going to be a letdown game for Nova. North Dakota State and North Dakota. I really want to bet North Dakota State money line. Yeah, I don't have much in this one. Kind of a clash in styles here. North Dakota has, for the most part, been kind of an up-tempo, kind of high-scoring team. A lot of their games are shootouts. North Dakota State's kind of the one team outside of St. Thomas that really slow these games down to a slog. They're going to shoot a bunch of threes. I would always just bet the home team in this game. It's kind of a rivalry game up in the Summit League. I can't get behind North Dakota State on the road here, laying a number. Not real interested there. Paul Sather's team at North Dakota has been much better this year. I got to give them a lot of credit. They've done a nice job, particularly defensively. They're good on the glass. And they've only lost once since January 13th. Beat a lot of good teams, beat North Dakota State in the process, and they get this game at home. So, yeah, I lean the other way personally. Do I have any thoughts on South Carolina State, Delaware State? No, can't say I do. Two just middling teams in the MEAC. Flip a coin. East Carolina Rice. East Carolina was 1 for 20 from 3 in the first meeting, says Robert Franklin. Yeah, well, the interesting thing about Rice this year, they've been kind of a tough team for groups. I mean, they've hung tough. Beat Memphis, beat UAB. This team can score, man. This team can really score. I don't know. ECU can be a decent spot at times at home, but yeah, I'm not running to bet ECU at any point. I think Rice is the better team. I think they're the much better offensive team. I could see this game being high scoring. I think ECU has some kids that can score. I like ECU. A couple of transfers from like Bobby Pettifer from Kansas, Cam Hayes from LSU. We've got some scores on this team, and Rice seemingly turns the tempo up in every game. I want to talk about Kentucky and Alabama because a lot of people will want to watch this game. They have an interest in this game. Total is really high in this one. I think it's like 178 or something. I don't believe in Kentucky defensively. I don't buy this recent resurgence. I think it's come down to just teams just haven't been able to shoot the ball real well from 3. They are still a disaster transition defense. They don't make them any better than Alabama in that metric. I think this is your typical team game where you see a bunch of pros that just want to run a top 20 tempo. It's wall to wall, back and forth. We've seen these games. I mean, they have kind of figured themselves out. We all thought the other night that Florida game was too high total wise. Game went over. I think this is first to 90 wins. I can see it 95, 92. These are, to me, the two of the top 5 offenses in the country. And these are two just very poor defensive teams. But neither one of these teams can defend in transition. These are the two top 3 3-point offenses in the country. I think this is an NBA type of game. And if it doesn't get there, salute. I don't really care. I'm not going to make these handicaps difficult. I had it first to 90 wins, and I think it gets into the 90s. I mean, who stops who in this game? We have to remember as well with Alabama, Muhammad Wagoo is out. He was suspended after a pretty disgraceful incident the other night against, who was that? I think it was Florida. Now, he hasn't actually played very much. I mean, he's only played, about 10 minutes over the last 2 games. But it's a depth piece you're not going to have. They've also had to deal with some other injuries. Wrightsell has been out. He didn't play over the last game or two. He's been good for them. He shot the ball well. It's given them 37 points over the last 2 games, but didn't play against Florida. Didn't matter, though. It really doesn't matter who plays for these teams. They have a bunch of scores everywhere, and I'm not going to believe in the last couple of games. A lot of people talking about Wake Forest and Duke. To me, it's pretty simple. I mean, I'll always take the home team in that spot. But I hate to tell you guys, that number's gone. I think it's up to 3 now. If you wanted to bet this game, you should have did it last night. Betting it now is difficult. I think it's worth, like you throw it into a money line parlay at this price, but to bet it at the worst price, I think you're going to hurt yourself long term. A couple of games that I thought were just kind of good spots to lay a number in today. Good team against bad team. One of them was Hofstra against Elon. I think this is kind of a sneaky good spot. This Hofstra team is legit, man. Elite offensive team. One of the better offensive teams in this conference. But for me this year, it's really been how good Hofstra's been defensively. At home here, laying, I think, 13 to Elon. Elon, one of the worst teams in this conference. We've seen Hofstra regularly win by margin. And how do they do it? Well, they're great from the line. They defend. This is a good spot to kind of, I think, lay the number in what I think is like an 82-64 type of game. Elon is bad. They're one of the worst teams in this conference. This is one of the bottom 15 defensive groups in America. I think it's just kind of, if you're Elon, you're looking to get to the tournament here in this conference and kind of turn the page a little bit. Another one I thought about was Western Illinois today in a bounce back spot against Southern Indiana. Southern Indiana is coming off of a huge win on Tuesday against Moorhead. Now they have to go to Western Illinois, one of the better teams in this conference, who are coming off their own loss to Moorhead State, who really needed a win. Western Illinois is a grind-you-down defensive stalwart, very good on the glass generally. I just think they're better than Southern Indiana. They only won this game by 5 the first time around, but Southern Indiana shot 27 free throws. I don't know that that's going to happen again. Throw in the fact that they were at home. I think this is a good spot for the Leathernecks to win by double digits. New Hampshire and UMBC, someone's asking about. Well, look, anytime UMBC plays, you have to figure the game's going to be very high scoring. They play a top 3 offensive possession in America. And what do I mean by that? Well, every 14 seconds, offensively, they're taking a shot. Very quick, very transition reliant. But I'll tell you right now, I don't know what happened the first time these two teams played, because New Hampshire plays very fast too. First game is 64-58. Now, this is your common thought, guys. Now, remember this. Just because teams play fast, and that's the only thing they do, it doesn't mean that they're going to go over. And that was the case in this first game. You look back, there were only 13 combined free throws in the games, and the teams went 15 for 61 from 3. That's why this game was only 64-58. I have to figure those things are going to happen this time around. I lean over. This should be a fun one. You'll get the pace, and I think you get a much more efficient game for both teams. These guys really struggled the first time around to score the basketball. All right, let's check in on our soccer bets today. We need one more goal. We need a goal from Middlesbrough badly. That will give us a winner in that one. I need another winner from Norwich. I need another goal from them. I got over 1.5 goals against Blackburn, one of the worst defensive sides in this league. We need another goal from Norwich. Put this game away, Norwich, and win 2-0. That would be just fine by me. I don't know why Watford has just scored. Beautiful. That'll maybe open this one up a little bit. I got both teams that score in the over in this one. Or no, I just have the over in this one. So I need some goals in this one. I've already lost Peterborough. First game in 24 matches. They don't go over this year. And I lost that one earlier. I do have Portsmouth over. That's not looking good against the worst defensive side in this league in Charlton. So we're shaping up to not have the greatest of days in England. However, I think I've hit 9 of 10 in the championship. So you're not always going to have a great day. Let's go to the chat here. Who else do we have here? Nasty Nate, what's up? Cameron, what's going on? Cameron says, Nanya, take your medicine and chill out. Too much hate and energy. Yeah, I don't know. Nanya says, bro jotted these notes down off someone else who plagiarized. Hey, someone drop the link for Nanya. Drop the link for Nanya, Jose. Let's get him on here. He seems to have a lot to say. Let's get him on the show. Buddy, I could do this with my eyes closed right now. Would that make it that I'm not plagiarizing? Show him the link. Get him the link. Let's debate. Can we do that here? Can we drop him the link? Nanya, come on the show. Let's talk. We'll see who really knows what they're talking about. All right. Reds Doge says, Arizona's going to bounce back today. Lay the points. What? I thought they'd bounce back the other night. I mean, they don't lose at home. It was a great spot for them against Washington State. Laid an egg. Just couldn't get any sort of, anything going. It was ugly. I mean, Miles Rice, Isaac Jones, they did whatever they wanted. You don't go into McHale Center and win. You just don't. And they did. Impressive stuff. I can't back Arizona right now. Bounce back is not a handicap, it's a dream. Exactly. Couldn't agree more. I guess we can't drop the link. It's not my choice. I guess I could drop it myself, can I? But I don't want to do that if that's not what they want me to do here. So I won't do it. Why do people constantly tune into this morning show to talk shit? You're so laid back. I don't see how people don't like you. Information is always great. Well, Nunya's a know-it-all, seems like. I have no issue with the guy. I don't know what he's like. He just seems to come in here and just chat shit. I don't know. It's weird. Listen, brother, here's my advice to you, and this is just advice. You shouldn't accuse someone of something if you don't have the proof. Like this guy straight up just said, I steal people's information and read off a sheet. Buddy, I've been doing this since you were in fucking short pants. When you were in fucking middle school, I was doing this shit. Show some fucking respect. You may not like me. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. Buddy, I've been doing this for a decade. Longer than that. I've been on these fucking networks for a decade. Like I said, you were wearing fucking short pants when I started doing this. Get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck are you? This is the problem with some of this shit. We embolden scumbags like this guy. Who the fuck are you? I don't mean to disrespect, but you come in here and act stupid to me, and then I'm the sensitive one. You're straight up saying I stole people's information. The fuck are you talking about? Come on, man. Listen, my man, when you see me in person, tell me I stole some shit. And that's no threat. I'm just saying, like, what kind of grown man does this? Very weird, bro. Very weird behavior by you. Real weird. I can understand, you come in, oh, he's got a stupid haircut, or I don't like the way the cut of his jib or something, but you're coming in here saying people are stealing people's info, reading off sheets. Motherfucker, I have no sheet here. No, I'm not going to ease up, dude. You're the one that said it, not me. Now it's easy. No, it ain't easy. You're not being honest. You're being a fucking idiot. Here you go. Let's drop the link. I don't even care. Here, go ahead. Come on with it. Oh, I can't drop it. It won't let me drop it. They're not going to let me do it. I can't. I try to drop the link. It says it's failed to post. I don't think I'm allowed to. Am I allowed?
Unfortunately not.
Why? He's saying I'm stealing stuff. Why?
Find us on Twitter, Nanya, and we'll have this conversation. We can't put it on the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Nanya, you're out of control, dude. You're stealing things. But there we go. We can't do it. I tried. So yeah, listen, I just don't do that. I don't think that's fair. I mean, you have your opinion, we have ours. All we asked him to do initially was explain his reasoning as to why he doesn't like primetime games. It's just his opinion. I get it. I was just trying to tell you that it's a decent betting opportunity if you can find it. Like, for instance, if, case in point, let's say Providence is at home. They've lost 3 straight games, and they're a 1-point favorite against UConn. That's a great game to bet on, dude. I think by shutting yourself off, but again, you know it all. Just trying to help. But this is what we've done on Twitter and YouTube. We've emboldened ignoramuses like this to think they know everything. So fair enough. All I'm trying to do, bro, is teach. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to teach you the spoils I've had over the years doing this. But you know it all. It's okay. It's okay, Nanda. Does anybody know this dude, by the way? He seems to be very bold. Everybody knows me. Look at him. We will meet. Here's an idea for the Pubapalooza. Put me and this guy next to each other and we'll debate. That could get ugly. I might end this guy's life, seriously, with a debate. Holy hell. Could you imagine me and this guy talking about basketball? Here's what I'll do. I'll blindfold myself and talk about basketball. That's why there's no way. Buddy, I'm just smarter than you. I got more up here. That's why I'm on this shit for 15 years. That's a big show idea for the Pubapalooza. Put me up against this guy where we debate stuff. That would be good. What other games did I miss today that are interesting? We didn't talk much about the Mountain West, my favorite conference. I played Boise to make the Final Four, which I love. I actually like Boise today. They got to head up to Wyoming. Not real worried. Boise's just a freight train. Yeah, I don't want to box. I have no interest in fighting. I'm a fucking grown man. What are you talking about? Let's box. Buddy, I box for tens of thousands of dollars, not for free. Remember? Trust me. I don't fight for free, bro. I don't care that much. And that's the thing. See, this is how we know he's losing his argument, because he immediately goes to let's fight. I don't fight. I'm 34 years old. I don't fight. Unless you hurt my family, and in that case, I'm going to shoot you in the fucking head. But other than that, I'm not fighting you. I'm just not. I'm not fighting some guy who disagrees with me about basketball. Well, good for you. I don't fight. I don't fight. LJ says, let's grow up now. You grow up. Don't tell me you grow up. I gave up like 70 opinions on games today. Yeah, I don't. You'll outshoot me. It's always competition. You probably can. I haven't shot a basketball in 20 years. And remember, Nunya, the difference between you and me is all the stuff you are talking about, I've done. And I do it for money. I don't do it for the love of the game. You know? All right. What else do we have here? Someone asked about Drake in Northern Iowa. This is a big game today. Drake is 14-3. All of a sudden, they have a shot in this conference. All of a sudden. Because Indiana State is falling by the wayside. Northern Iowa is kind of one of those kind of middling teams in this conference, but they still have terrific players. Bowen Bourne's really good. Nate Heiss still really good. Drake's at home here, laying a small number. You're basically laying the 3.5 for being at home. If Drake wants to continue to compete in this conference, you need to find a way to win this game. I think, though, we always have our friend in here that talks about the money line parlays. This is a decent spot. I think Drake gets the job done, wins the game at home. Sean Mosler, I came here for picks. Well, you came here late. We're about to wrap up. We've already given picks on many games. Northern Colorado and Eastern Washington lead over. Two teams that play very fast, two teams that are very good on offense. And I've talked time and time again, I hate Eastern Washington. This team cannot defend. Mac Complex. One of your better comments of the day. Mac Complex says, the only white guy I know that got a crispy fade like a brother. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you for watching. Listen, I just am who I am. But yes, the shape is fucking sharp. Let's just be honest. Thank you, Matt Complex, my man. Sanford's finally getting. Wow, Nunya actually made a very good comment. I love this. See, Nunya, you can show out. You can show out. As far as getting respect, I can't back them today, and I'll tell you why. It's not that I don't want to back them. I love Sanford. However, AJ State and McCray didn't play in the last game, and Akora was out early in the last game. Two very important players to this team, and I can't bet them. They still could win, but I'm not looking to do that. They're very important. State and McCray is their best player. He just is. And we saw in the last game, they found a way to win, but they struggled. They won at the buzzer. Without Akora and State and McCray, I can't get involved there. LG says, big man, I don't know why people think you're laid back. You have a bigger mouth on you than Draymond. I'm just good at arguing. And I really, really get people like you fired. Come on, if I just sat here and was boring, it wouldn't be fun. That's why I've been able to do this for so long. You got to have a little fun. Like Nasty Nate. Nasty Nate just will come in here and, hey, bro, what do you think? Now he has some fun. He gets it going a little bit. All right. What's the over of the day? I'm going to lean on Kentucky and Alabama over the day. I think that's 95-92. Craig Wood says, you guys need to lay off grown-up Spanky. He's still angry at Darla for stealing alfalfa? No, that's not true. Spanky hated Darla. And he hated Darla because alfalfa was his friend. And alfalfa was spending more time with his girlfriend than him. But you will not get me down on this one. This is I love the who I look like things. The alfalfa or the Spanky. I think for me, I look more like the Spanky from our gang, not the Spanky from the newer Little Rascals. Bobby Hill, we've heard. Hasbulla, we've heard. 1090 Jake, we've heard. Al Capone, we've heard. Babe Ruth, we've heard. We've heard all of them. I've heard the Professor from N1 Mixtape Tour, just because I have this haircut. LJ says, I've been following you since King Rail put you on a show. Wow, King Rail. That's a blast from the past. I think I've told the story about King Rail before. That was funny. Someone says, you don't look like 1090 Jake. That's just what people say in the comments. Oh, yeah, Wahlberg. That's true. Buckwheat was a great character. He was one of my favorites. That was a great show. I loved the Little Rascals when I was a kid. Matt Complex says that's like all white dudes with a little black swag all look alike. That's the point they're making, Mac. These guys, these dudes, they just come in and they're like, oh, they all look the same, white guys, because they have a light up. I know it's stupid. I've also heard the guy from Three Stooges, Mo. I've heard Lloyd Christmas, all that stuff. Yeah, it's all fun. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about how I look. Oh, here we go with Nasty Nate. Listen, Nasty Nate, I don't owe you an explanation. I don't. Look, here he is. 20 other personalities have never had issues with the chat ever. It's all love. Yeah, but I don't love everybody. But smash the like button. Thank you, Nasty Nate. Yeah, that's what I like about Nate. Hey, look, he don't like me, but I love him. Always hit that like button. Kylie Reynolds says, do I like Mercer over 138? Well, it's in my area of I don't like totals around 140, right? Because you kind of have fast teams, you kind of don't. It's kind of like that middle number where you don't necessarily want to lay it. I had this number like 138, so I didn't see much value. Neither team play fast. You're just hoping for efficiency. One team really, really needs to make threes in Greensboro. That's just kind of how they operate. Greensboro totals could be really high scoring if they make threes, but if they don't, they could score 60 points. That's the issue with Greensboro. There's a lot of variance. They shoot a top 10 three-point rate in the country. If they're going in, you're good. But if they're not, it can be really ugly. Is Nigel Seeley a good soccer tout? I've worked with Nigel in the past. Always was good to me. Always, sure. I haven't seen him in a while, but I know he's always strong when I dealt with him. As far as soccer, I mean, Alex, he's a good capper. He used to be on SBR Flash. He's a good handicapper. There's a lot of good ones out there. Me. All right, let's wrap it up here. Let's head on out. Let's tip on out. Went over a bunch of games today. Had some fun in the chat and mixed it up, of course. No, don't report him, Paul O'Neill. Don't report anybody, please. Don't report anyone here, guys. We're not going to report people because they don't agree with me. Please don't report people. Don't report anybody. Big man, do you still keep in touch with Loshak and Donnie? Yeah, I was doing a show with Loshak on here. We did a college football show during the college football season. Donnie, yeah, I talk to Donnie every couple of days. Don't report anybody, please. Don't report anybody. It's a lame move. It's a rat move. Don't do that. We don't have any issue. Nunya doesn't get blocked. He doesn't get ignored. We even asked to drop the link. I don't have any issue with him. He has his opinion. I have mine. We can disagree. John Glasses, Jeff and I have disagreed for years. Never reported me. Well, I don't know if I remember you particularly, John, but yeah, I won't disagree. Listen, I would love that. And if I had him come on the show, it wasn't to badmouth him. I want to hear his opinion. I want to hear him talk about basketball because he's heard me talk about basketball. If you're a good basketball man, I'll talk to you. But if you're just going to come in here and chat shit and not have anything to back it up, and if you resort to let's fight, it's not that serious, dude. Relax, tough guy. Relax, tough guy. It's like, Nunya, relax, tough guy. Everybody wants to fight. My guess is Nunya is a little younger, maybe. Everybody wants to fight. Nobody wants to try hard, Little piece of advice for you. I was a big Tennessee fan. Oh, okay. Yeah, listen. Tennessee, I think they struggled today, but I think they win. All right, let me recap what I like today. I like Houston -2.5 against Baylor. I like A&M +10.5 against Tennessee. I hope I don't get screwed by betting the bad number there. I like Iowa State -17.5 against West Virginia. I like K-State +1 against Brigham Young. And I like Santa Clara +14.5 against Gonzaga. Nunya says, you're going to quiver when we meet, LOL. Well, I guess I'm gonna be. Do I have to worry here? Am I gonna be killed? Should I come? Okay. Well, I guess if that's how you feel over an internet chat, remember though, Nunya, and I just want to remind you, people have said over the years they were going to shoot me in the head at events. Still went. This is this is where this Nasty Nate. I mean, where are you? I mean, this guy's actively threatening me to hurt me in the chat. Where are you? Where are all my reinforcements here? It could have been a top 10 PSR moment had Jose just sent the link. No, he's just doing his job. They don't want that on this chat. It's a kumbaya type of thing, which I understand. I threatened? When? When did I threaten you? I said we should have a debate. I think it would be funny. You're the one that starts talking about boxing gloves. How tall am I? 5'8". Roll the tape. When did I threaten this guy? I don't threaten people. That's not my thing. I dropped the link and I said we should have a fun debate at Pub Search Radio. I think it'd be funny at the Pubapalooza. But Nate, we might be in a situation where you just kind of ruin it for everybody. I don't think there's a need for you to behave this way, but fair enough. We'll let you do what you do. I'm out of here. I got to go. Huddersfield scored 1-1. Okay, we need one more. We need one more. Let's hopefully get it. Portsmouth, that looks like a loser. So we're going to go 0-2 in League One today. But hopefully we can get a winning day out of the championship. Best bet. I give you 5 bets I like. Best bet. We'll throw it out. Alabama, Kentucky over. I will bet the biggest total on the board over. Jose can't pick baseball? Is that true? No, I don't believe it.
It's only a little true, but don't worry. Baseball season comes soon, and those units are coming, so I'm not concerned.
There you go. I missed your take on Houston Baylor. I like Houston. I just don't think Baylor's very good on defense. I think they're going to have a lot of trouble in this game. I think Houston's offense will eat, and it's always difficult to score against Baylor. Baylor can't rebound either. He isn't the best in baseball, but that's last year. Y'all give me a break. Exactly. Listen, you don't always have good years, man. You struggle. Things happen.
Yeah, it's a good time. By the way, Jeff, if you'd like to know, I started off down 30 units, grinded all the way back to even, just to fall back down again at the end. It was great. It was a good season.
So he had a roller coaster season.
Oh, yeah. That's what they always are. It's fun, though. I can't wait. Baseball season comes soon.
Do I play MLS? Someone asked. No, I don't. Not really. I don't. I guess if I did play MLS, I'd just always bet on Inter Miami with all the talent they have. But no, I don't bet MLS. The only North American soccer league I play is occasionally MX, Liga MX, but it's mostly Europe for me. But okay, guys, I'm out. We're just rambling at this point. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. Good luck. You're on a win streak in basketball. Is that true?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure, I'll take it, Mac. If you're going to give me a win streak in basketball, I barely bet the fucking sport, but we'll take it. I'll take the win streak you're giving me.
Oh, right. So it's a fake win streak. He doesn't really have a win streak.
I guess so. If I do, I don't remember it. So
One final
I'll tell you that, Mac. I quietly did bet Green Bay last night. Those fucking cunts. Yeah, of course. They show up. Yeah, when you said that immediately, I got fucking triggered, but it was hilarious.
LG says, I still remember the season in 2017 when you had for ages in college basketball. So good. Yes, that was legendary. And then I went to Pub Search Radio. I remember that was before Pub Search Radio. I went to the Final Four that year. That was great. Good call, LJ. Okay, thank you guys. Chris, thank you for watching. All you guys, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Jose is going to maybe try to find a basketball winner. What's your basketball winner today? Give us a winner. Come on.
That's a great question. I'll join you. I like Houston as well.
No, I don't like it. I don't like Houston. I'm out.
Oh, fuck. We're all fucked.
No,